Hello Planet Coaster adventurers, welcome back to UK Theme Parks as we start a brand new park. Oh yes, hot on the heels actually of the announcement that Planet Coaster is coming to console, PS4 and Xbox. We will be sticking on PC. Now this will be our last pre-recorded park that we've done. The next one we really want you to get involved, and we're going to do kind of a build as you go one, so we can take comments, take suggestions, but we do still want your interaction on this. We really want to know what you want to see, and whether or not you're enjoying this, and whether the rides and things we do during this season will indeed be ones that you're interested in seeing going forward. Now then, we are going to start very differently. I can't start with entrances for whatever reason. I can't start with entrances. I just like to build rides. That's what I like to do. I like to build rides. Just build the rides and do an afterthought on the entrance. Now, the ride we're going to build, we're going to go for a B&M inverted coaster, which is actually going to be disaster themed. So it's actually inspired a little bit by the Swarm in the UK at Thorpe Park. But we're going to do it in a inverted style coaster. Now then, we haven't obviously recorded everything yet of the Planet Coaster. This is going to be quite a big park. We're really going to test our PC to the limits, and we're going to see exactly what the slowdown's like once we get a big park in here. So the idea is we're going to have a few themed area. This is going to be kind of a disaster themed area, which you see now, which will include a couple of rides, quite a lot of building. I think actually, arguably, whilst I'm not amazing at theming by any means, I'm really going to give this one a go to kind of give it a feel of a incredible theme. So that's the idea for this one. And then for the other area, we're going to go for like a fairy tale area, and we're going to go for a canyon style area as well. And we want to make an insane, arguably really unrealistic coaster to go down the back of the park. Now this one we're building now, we actually want to be our highlight coaster. This will be the one that possibly is a realistic coaster. It's not going to be too big, it's not going to be too fast, it's going to kind of, really interact great with the scenery, and this is the one that we want as our star attraction. This is one we're going to put all our theming efforts into. We're going to create a couple of kind of little custom pieces, with Disaster Zone, again thinking of the Swarm, maybe a couple of billboards. We want some buildings, sort of like a derelict area. So yeah, we're really going to go to town on this one. We're going to build it slightly in a pit, not too much, but slightly in a pit. As you can see, we're not going massive with it. We're going to keep it quite realistic in its size and its look, and possibly the corners and everything as well, because we really want this one to be a standout attraction for the park. And when you look at it, you kind of think of this one first. Yeah, we are going to mix it up a bit with this one. As I said, we will test it as we go as well. We want to make sure that it goes around as we go. Perfect, absolutely perfect. We're not going to have a mid-course brake run so much, I don't think. We'll work that out as we go around. Make sure this is smooth as we go. But we want, where this is going to be a slightly shorter coaster, I feel, we'll have a turnaround point here, but I think we'll have slightly closer to the end the bits and pieces. And we also want to have it so it's got enough speed to do a loop. Not a first thing we go for a loop, so a long bit of track, and then we'll have a loop before sort of winding up the ride. So yeah, it won't be too long, it won't be massive by any means, but it's going to be hopefully really well themed, or really heavily themed, or the best theming that I can possibly get together. Let us know in the comments as we go whether or not you like the theming, and whether or not it's something that you think we could extend on in the future. Now this ride will be made available on the Steam Workshop as well. This is one we're actually going to put up. I don't really want to put up the outrageous coasters on there. I really want to just make sure that we get the really well themed ones on there, and the ones that people could actually use in their park. As I said, we do want to mix this park up a bit. So rather than going for a fully realistic park, we want to mix up these massive coasters with these fairy tale coasters, and then these realistic coasters. And then the next park that we do will be a full realistic, this is what you expect to see, this is how it's going to go. Also with this, we want to, for the very first time as well, use the Ghostbusters expansion pack, which is something that we've had and something we've been dying to use for the laser shooting ride. So you can have a shooting target ride, which you can actually go on yourself and shoot the targets, and then you can base the scenery on the targets. So that's something else we want to build. I have a feeling that's going to take a very, very, very long time to build, but we are going to do it. As you can see here, we're going to test the ride, make sure it goes round. I love the look of it already. Not too long, not too short. It's going to have some nice punchy moments in there. Quite a few inversions. Back to the station. Loving that. Absolutely Loving that. And of course, at the end of the series, when we're finished and we've actually done everything, you will see on rides from all of the rides here as well. So you can see here, we've started building the station for it. We're going to go for a sort of a white station and a more derelict one. As I said, we are basing it quite slightly on the Swarm at Thorpe Park. I love the design of the Swarm, and although I don't want to use a wing coaster, I want to keep it a little bit tighter, because the wing coaster, obviously, where it's a bit wider, really does require quite a lot of space, and I want to make this one a little bit more compact in what we're doing. So we're going to do that. We're going to use a lot of wood. We're going to use some of the, as you can see, the blocks there of the brick, which are you know, like ripped or torn or whatever you want to call it, kind of smashed to pieces. We're going to use those as well, and we want to put some beams in too. It's not particularly themed over anything. I wouldn't say it's themed over a church. It's just going to be sort of a derelict sort of building. But yeah, we really want to go to town on this building, so quite a lot of effort is going to go into it. As you can possibly see now, we're going to make a little bit more time than what we did perhaps on the Adventure Pier, where we were sort of theming a pier, which wasn't necessary. This one we're really going to try and hammer it home a bit more. Even these little details now, these kind of brick details of broken walls and things, we're going to have all that in too. And yeah, I think it might take a little bit of time to put it together, but you know, we've been doing Planet Coaster, you know, we've been playing it. I say we've been doing it. It's the first time we've really done it on the channel with the Adventure Pier, but we've been playing Planet Coaster since it came out. And you know, I think with this, you are either really incredibly great at theming rides or you're not. And finally, we watch a lot of videos online as well, and you tend to find that the people that are incredible at theming rides, the rides are rubbish. They're not very good. And then you find the people that build good rides can't theme them whatsoever. And we kind of want a happy medium in that. We want to be the people where people go, actually, that theme's okay. That's acceptable. We could use that. And then we want people to go, actually, that ride is quite realistic. As I said, this is our realistic ride. This is one we're going for. We're definitely going to build an absolutely outrageous one down the back of the park later. That is something I want to try. And I want to try doing it with another B&M type as well. The Fairy Tale Land, we're going to try something different. We're going to try a little bit of darkness on it, a little bit of dark ride. We have plans for the Ghostbusters ride, and we're not really sure what else we're going to put in yet. We're going to kind of see how space goes and how it goes. We do have to come back and theme the entrance. I'm aware we have to come back and theme the entrance. And I think maybe on the next adventure, we do need to start with the entrance area rather than going straight into the park. But I'm just so keen to build the rides. Always so keen to build the rides that that's just how it ends up. I know it shouldn't, but that's how it ends up. So we're going to go around here now, and we're going to make sure that we get the right bricking in as well. I don't think we can have broken all the way around. Maybe we can. Maybe we can have broken all the way around. We'll have to see how the building goes. There's quite a lot of pieces here we can use as well. There's not really any what I would call broken windows. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, we'll go for these. We'll go for these. They're sort of in the middle windows. They're not offensive in any way, so I think we'll have these windows in and go for those. And over those as well, we want to have some, you know, boarded up. I haven't boarded up. This is a completely derelict area. It's not a place anyone wants to come. You've got damaged walls, you've got damaged building, and you've got this massive B&M inverted coaster going in the middle. So yeah, that's the plan around here, is to make it kind of look as old and tatty as possible. And funny enough, we did do the abandoned, sort of the abandoned theme on the pier as well. I have to say, I really do enjoy that theme. I'm not going to lie to you. I just think it does look amazing. Not that we can think of all the abandoned themes at Thorpe Park, perhaps we were going for the Swarm. I don't particularly want that all around the park, but it's certainly something I'm interested in if it can be pulled off and executed right, and that is exactly what we're going for with this ride. What kind of coaster would you use for it? Do you know, would you like to see a Swarm type coaster? Is that rather have one of those in this kind of theme, or do you think this will work with this? You know, we've got two B&M inverts in the UK, one of them Nemesis Inferno, which arguably isn't themed on a disaster, and then possibly Nemesis, which is themed on a disaster. So where do you think this fits in the scheme of things? Make sure you leave comments below. We would love to know. If you're not watching this in the UK, look up Thorpe Park, look up Alton Towers, and look up Nemesis and Nemesis Inferno, plus the Swarm at Thorpe Park, and you'll see exactly what we're trying to achieve. Now then, a little bit of the queue will go through this, so we'll have to theme a little bit of this. We don't want to theme it all. At the end of the day, the less pieces we use to look good on the outside, the less slowdown there'll be when we get onto the ride. So we'll just enclose this a bit here. I don't know, I think we will have a little bit of a, so we're going to remove a few supports as well, because the supports really do get in the way sometimes. And we'll just pretend they're absolutely fine there. We'll make sure it's saved as well. We don't want any crashes. Lots of little detail going in. We're going to do some more detail to the church now, and we will come back at you once we've done that. That the station are complete, so we are going to jump straight in now and get some wood around it. We are going to have sort of the derelict effect, you know, broken roof, and yeah, I've never really built a roof before, so it should be quite interesting. We're going to use the beams. I quite like the beams, to be honest with you. I think these ones work quite well. We'll have a quick check, see if there's anything else. There are so many pieces to Planet Coaster that it's just so difficult to actually get the right bits that we want to do it. So we'll try and error a few bits, but I have a feeling that there we go. I think that's the one we want. Right, so let's colour that. We'll go up the top on these. We're going to level them out, angle them down for roof purpose. Now, obviously, we can switch off the align and we can copy these across to save a little bit of time. And then we should be able to flip them round as well. There we go. Get across the top bits done. It will take a bit of lining afterwards. We'll get it in place and then we'll do some lining afterwards, as that certainly takes a bit of time. Look at that, look. There we go. And we'll do the other ones as well across here. Hopefully they line up a little bit better. As we said, it's going to be like sort of semi-falling apart, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but we do want to make it as good as we can possibly get it. There we go. Now what we're going to do, once we've done this and once we've lined it all up, I think what we'll do is we'll actually copy the whole of this side and duplicate it over to the other side to save a little bit of time on doing it, rather than rebuilding the whole other side. I don't really think there's a need to do that. So we are going to highlight, copy the other side, and then we're going to bring this down now to line across to have the roof bit. So, you know, the tools in here are absolutely fantastic. When you look at it, they are fantastic, but it does mean it does take a long time to do bits and pieces. The only good thing is, as long as you've got a line to surface off, you can copy across like this and kind of have the roof like this. We'll adjust some bits, left and right. There we go. There we go. And this is the problem, you see, getting it absolutely in line is so difficult. And however much I'd love to do it, it would just be here forever. So we'll go and move the pieces individually. I think it's the best way of doing it. Then, as we said, we are going to copy the other side, which we've done, and bring it back down and then reline it up, because it's not quite even from side to side, so it will require a little bit of moving across, but it certainly saves realigning and, you know, twisting and everything of what we did first time. We should better do it. There we go. So somewhere down here is the end. I think it's down the other end we've got it. So we'll pull these across, that's right. And then we go to the end. So yeah, we kind of have a roof. We kind of have a static roof going. Now then, we're going to need to connect that a little bit. I don't think it can kind of hang in midair. So we are going to connect that roof up as well to the bases. And of course, as you can see here, copy along to the beams as well, so it's flat across. And then we'll have a few beams in the middle which come down before we put our roof on. So actually, I'm quite happy with that structure. You know, it's not perfect by any means. Quite honestly, for the theme we're going for, it doesn't need to be perfect. It really doesn't. We're going to get a roof because I do want a roof over the station. I don't particularly like rides that don't have roof over the stations, but that's going to be at a much lower level, as you can see, just to sort of protect from the elements. Although we don't really have the elements, it's going to protect slightly from the elements. And yeah, that's our, yeah, I quite like that. I quite like that. I'm quite happy with that. We've got a few adjustments to make coming out the station here, which we'll do. And we're going to copy some of these onto the walls. We don't really need to redo them, to be honest with you, but we'll copy some of the windows onto the walls. We're also going to try, I have to do it from the back, copy some of those as well onto the above part. You know, and this is our main theme for the station. We will get some lights in. We'll try and do some really nice lighting for this bit as well. But yeah, this is what people are going to see when they enter the building. You know, sort of a derelict frame of what this wonderful building used to be. And we want to make sure as well that the wood is carried all the way around as part of it. So we're going to go all the way around here to separate the brick and the wood, right the way across the back. Go to a shorter piece, and then we're going to go around the building part and right across the side as well. Copy that across and right back round to the entrance. A little bit of moving. And then we'll hide sort of where we've done it at different levels, we'll hide that slightly, that's okay. Now the main roof bit isn't going to be enclosed, so we are going to get the tops of these done with some different broken parts of brick, because we don't intend for it to actually go anywhere, and we're going to add a bit of the wall on as well to make it look like it's sort of peeled off. We want a few rocks kind of scattered in, a bit of debris if you will, around the ride. I think we can get some big rocks as well. I don't know whether the big rocks will suit. We'll have a quick look, see whether or not we can fit one of those in the station. And the one I believe we will select for this task is going to, how is the building? It's going to be this one. I think this is the kind of plain colour. We'll go for the small one and we'll add it to a few areas just around here. There we go. Don't really want it on the sides yet. And we'll see what other options we got. There's so many options. As we said, it's really, really difficult to decide exactly what's going to look best when we're theming it. We've got quite a big space here, but of course people are going to be able to see this, so we will trim around the edges. We'll probably add some more rocks in shortly. You know, we want to make sure even the brake run, because when we're on ride, it does look good. There we go. We're going to change the look of this here. Well, we're going to bring up the old part which we've been using already. There we go. We're going to copy that across to there, have a little one underneath, and then we're going to wood clad around that as well. Get that put in, there we go. Yes, much happier with that as an entrance. We'll seal that bit off, and then the very same wood trim which we have used here, we want to put around the top of the building as well. So we're going to get the wood trim in. I quite like that. I quite like the way that sort of goes around. As I said, we don't really have a plan to have much of a roof on the main part. However, there will be a roof over the back bit where essentially the queue will be. So we'll have it so it's like damaged at the end here. Let's straighten that bit out. So I'm very happy with that. And that back bit will have a roof. Going across, this is what people see. So we've got the gap there as well for the queue line. We'll have the queue line so you enter one side and then get off the other side. It helps with the queues if the ride is busy. So the park's going to be quite big, so I don't know how busy the ride will be, but we want to make sure that people can get off and exit quite quickly. Now, we do want a roof on here, so what we're going to do first is we're going to place our entrance and exits, make sure we've got them in the right place, and we're going to come out of there, and we haven't actually left a space out here. Kind of forgotten a bit about it. So we're going to have double path down here, and as you can see on the side of the building, I haven't actually put a an exit for it. So we're going to make a little hole here and have an exit. And then what we will do, we'll continue the wall out to keep the theme intact, so you're not walking into a massive open area. That includes obviously the wood as well, which we've been using around the entrances and exits. We'll use those and put a bit more decor in as we go around as well. We've got quite a few white walls, so we'll get some more windows in. We'll get some more boarded up windows too, and that's it. So that's kind of our station as we see from the end of the ride there. I'm really impressed with that, actually. I'm really happy with that. Let's get the path in and out here. We will certainly have to sort the path out, and we'll get the queue coming out as well. Yep. I think we'll possibly look at fences for the inside bit. I think we're trying to have queue outside. I'm not really sure if a little wooden fence is going to help. Let's have a quick look, see what it looks like. It doesn't really fit, to be honest with you. I think what we'll do is we'll hold fire on this until we've got the paths in place, and I think we probably need to look at some of the landscaping, because obviously they're going to have to be paths coming down here, they're going to have to be paths coming out of here as well. I want a path going up the top bit, so right the way up this hill we want a path going. Let's see if we can get the path connected. find paths really frustrating in Planet Coaster. I really do find them frustrating. There we go. We've got a little bit of connection, and we want to go underneath, back up as well. And of course, there is a lot of elements to get right, including the ground. You know, this isn't really a grass area, so we are going to sort of a combination of tarmac and rock we're going to have across here. We're going to push this bit back a bit. We've got a little bit of theming we want to do. We want to do something across the top bit here as well, which you're going to see in the next episode. We're not going to do it this episode. To finish off, we definitely want to get the groundwork done. And also as well, we're going to build a little shop cubicle on the side of the building in a minute, just so we can see how much space we have going over into this area here. So I think we'll get that bit done now. It'll be kind of an extension of what's already there. We're going to go along the base with the wood. Quite happy with that. And then kind of expand what's already there to have an area for shops further down the line. I'm hoping this area will be quite busy. Hoping, fingers crossed, and that people will come down here. We'll keep the theme, as we said, exactly the same as what we've got around the rest of the park. Well, around the rest of this ride, sorry, not around the rest of the park, which includes the wood effect and indeed the fascia effects as well. And we'll get some shops in here at some point, but we'll get this in and then we see exactly how much space we have for theming, because we do want to have some sort of disaster theming going on, which is going to be based around this area here, so we'll definitely get that done. I quite like these actually. I couldn't find these earlier, so we'll put a few of these on, and we'll put a few of these on the ground. I think these will definitely be used in the rest of the theming area. So the ride is coming along nicely. We don't have a name for the ride yet. We've got a little bit of work still to do on it as well. Undoubtedly, we've got a little bit of work to do on it. You know, we want the scenery around here being done, and whilst we'll enclose it slightly, we do actually want some scenery, and you'll be able to look down on it on this top bit. What do you think of it so far? The ride is coming together really, really nicely. I love the design of the ride. I'm loving the station. We've got quite a lot of work to do, but leave your comments below how you're feeling about this inverted coaster. I think it looks amazing, but we want your input. Put it in below, and we've got some more work coming. Next episode, we have got some theming going into this coaster before we move anywhere else, and we've also got to do the top bit. Join us in episode 2.